So I think it's just
Mm-hmm.
that whole idea of having honest conversations is so important. But
Mm-hmm.
but in terms of a more conflict occurring from having these honest conversations, how do you think we should manage this and the emotions that come up with having those conversations?
Right. Well, I think there's actually a reframe around how we view conflict, right? So I think most of us are somewhat to very conflict averse. And so we think about conflict, we think about aggression, we think about it being very combative, we think about winners and losers, and it brings up a really negative connotation in our minds. And what I like to do is when I speak with corporate clients is to talk about reframing conflict is inevitable. We're going to have it. There's so many situations, right? You're hiring people, you're firing people, you're talking about compensation, you're talking about where to allocate resources, you're talking about, there's going to be conflict. People have different values, they have different interests. So conflict is inevitable. It's how we address it. And actually, if it's approached constructively, we can get a lot of information about each other. And I can learn what's important you, Harsh. I can learn what your priorities are, what your values are, what your boundaries are. You can learn about me, what's important to me, what are my needs, what are my values, what are my boundaries. So again, this reframe that it's inevitable and it can be constructive. But as you say, conflict can bring up some emotions, some uncomfortable emotions, right? So anger or sadness or frustration, and we need to think about, okay, there is room for emotions in the workplace. They give us important information. So let's use anger, for example, because that's one that often scares people a lot, or they try to avoid. They think it's a destructive emotion. And I'll say anger actually gives us some pretty useful information. It notifies us that someone's, that our values or our boundaries aren't being respected. So, but the important thing, what do we want to do with this anger, right? We don't want to necessarily just act from that place, act aggressively from that place. So when we think about working with difficult emotions, we'll say, okay, I recognize I'm angry here. First important thing to do is pause, like I said, and not respond from that place. And often our bodies give us some really important physical cues. So you can start to get used to what yours are. Is it a beating heart? Is it sweaty palms? Is it feeling a little bit shaky? Okay, that is your cue to pause and not act from that place. First order of business is to calm yourself down. And as we get very practiced with this, it might just be a few breaths. But early days, it might be just saying, you know what, this is a really important topic and I want to give some thought to it. So I'm going to take a bit of a break, but come back to this. So giving ourselves time to pause, to cool down a bit so that we're not responding from a really emotionally hijacked place. So that's the first order of business. Just pause, calm down, and then tune in. What's really important to me here, and how do I want to behave in a way so that I can get those needs met? So yeah, those are some ideas about manage the emotions first and separate them from the behavior. Make sure that we're not acting up from an emotionally hijacked place.